Tom, what do the official PMIs tell us then about China's economy in February?
So in February, the important point is that it was the Lunar New Year period. That's normally a time in which many workers, millions of workers in China's manufacturing sector will down tools and take a break and return to their hometowns. And so we normally see a moderation in manufacturing activity over that period. And what we've seen this year is consistent with that. And we can see that there was a drop in Chinese manufacturing activity in February compared to January.
And talk to us about exports, export orders, that sort of thing, because we are coming off a past several weeks. We've had Hong Kong exports, Taiwan, we all know, of course, the big story there. And, of course, just this morning, now out of South Korea, what are we seeing as far as those metrics, PMI metrics on outbound shipments?
Yeah, so that was an interesting detail in the data released yesterday, which is that the new export orders measure that fell into contractionary territory for the first time since September. So, overall, we saw a moderation in growth for most manufacturers, but we were still in expansionary territory, but that doesn't seem to be the case for exports. So it's possible that could be just a temporary blip, and I think that overall, people are expecting to see China's very strong export performance that we saw in 2020 repeated, at least for the first half of this year, given that economies around the world are still in various states of lockdown.
Tom, PMI is, of course, something of a lagging indicator. What are they missing?
So I think that an important point to make is that there are seasonal effects on the PMI. And if we look at some of the more high-frequency data, for example, electricity consumption, we can see that Chinese factories did shut down over the Lunar New Year. But the shutdown was much shorter than what we saw in 2020 when many people were extremely restricted by coronavirus lockdowns. So this year, the electricity data is showing us that factory workers basically got back to work a lot more quickly. And also the services and consumption picture was quite good. So there's a possibility that if we look at some of the more recent data, it's more optimistic than what the PMI is showing us.